Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Pen Decker of Kung Tech Fu, teaching you that esoteric cryptocurrency Kung Fu. And we are back once again. So thanks for joining me on my journey once again. And we are here to continue our adventure into the road of financial independence by using the principle of compound interest. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's start out by understanding that there is a methodology. There are certain things that we must do and or tools that must be provided to us so that we can be successful. So with that, let's just start off, ladies and gentlemen. And the first thing we're going to go to is we're going to go to Spritz Finance. Now, Spritz Finance is something that you heard me talk about before, and I've been using it ever since, and I've been paying my bills with this. And as you can see, I recently paid my T-Mobile bill with this, and it's just awesome. The first time you get onto this, they're going to give you $10 towards your first bill. If anybody uses your referral address, you'll get $50 towards your next billing cycle or whatever it is that you're doing. So I encourage you to use Spritz Finance in order to do that. I'll leave my referral link down in the description below. Okay? And secondly, if you're going to be into cryptocurrency, the second thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a wallet. But not just a wallet where you are open and vulnerable to hackers and things of that nature, but you're going to need a wallet that you can use some sort of a hardware peripheral to lock it down so that your hardware peripheral would ask for permission before there's any financial transaction that can be done. Now, you've heard me guys talk formally about the Keystone Pro, but there's only one thing. I've had the Keystone Pro for quite some time, and the thing about the Keystone Pro is you're able to lock down your MetaMask wallet, but the thing about MetaMask wallet is it's not multi-chain. I'll say that again, ladies and gentlemen. It is not multi-chain. And what I mean by that is, did you know that you can't store Bitcoin inside of a MetaMask wallet because it's not multi-chain? Did you know that you can't put ISO 222 coins inside of a MetaMask because it's not multi-chain? Okay, so MetaMask will only take you but so far, ladies and gentlemen. What am I talking about? Let's just go here very quickly. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about utilization of the Decent Crypto Wallet. The Decent Crypto Wallet is multi-chain. Now, you guys that's been following me on my channel, you all know that I love my BitKeep wallet, okay? But BitKeep, even though it is multi-chain, and even though we do have biometrics, and even though we can link our MetaMask by using our private key to our BitKeep and or import our MetaMask into BitKeep, one thing still remains. Even if we locked our MetaMask down with the Keystone Pro, that does not transfer into the BitKeep wallet. So, here you have it. The Decent Crypto Wallet, ladies and gentlemen, is fastly becoming my most favorite wallet, because not only is it multi-chain, not only can I put Bitcoin in there, as a matter of fact, I can put SegWit and Legacy Bitcoin into the wallet, but I can also put ISO 2022 compliant coins in there as well. Now, if I were you, I would get this. And it also comes, well, it doesn't come with, you can download the software, but you can also buy a hardware peripheral that actually locks your wallet down with the let's go right here and let's just check it out. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about so that you are in the know, okay? And let's just go here to Decent Wallet. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's go here and see what it brings us, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's going to bring us to the wallet like we just saw in the thing. But what I'm actually looking for is I'm looking to show you guys the actual hardware. And there's a little hardware device that you could actually use. I don't want to waste too much time here looking for it. And hold on one second. Let me just pause this very quickly. next thing. Now, on to the next thing is we're going to get into some stuff here, ladies and gentlemen, because you know and I know that we've recently had some rug pulls. And, you know, you had the Hope platform, which took in 225 million. You know, I hope none of you guys, well, I know probably some of you were probably involved with that. You know, I myself have never even heard of it, you know what I'm saying? But I did get snagged by a few others, and that was the Baked Beans, you know, V2. You know, I haven't extracted out of that one. Okay, Amaze Doge, I was in that. Of course, as you guys know, I made a video on that. The Cat arbitrage platform, I was also in that. And FX Master Gold, which recently rugged, I was also in that. Now, the guidelines for that, ladies and gentlemen, is, of course, we never put in more than we can afford to lose. And I pretty much followed those guidelines where I was able to, because when you first get into a platform that's an ROI platform and or return on your investment platform, like Baked Beans, like Amaze Doge or Cat, or anywhere where you don't have self-custody, there's always that danger period before you get out the money that you put in. So that is your first line of defense. Always get out the money that you put in first. So with Baked Beans, I didn't get that opportunity. With Amaze Doge, I did get that opportunity. I was in Amaze Doge for months, so I definitely pulled out, you know, more money than I actually put in. Even though I had close to $1,200 when it actually finally rugged, when they finally gave up the ghost. You know, that was some generational money that I could actually use, but I did follow the guidelines, so therefore it did not break me. Cat arbitrage, I had a few $100s in that. I did pull out some money from that, but nowhere near what I put in. So I never really got the chance, because once they did the V2, you got to watch out for those V2 launches, ladies and gentlemen, because when they start changing the smart contract, or they have the ability to change the smart contract, and that's one of the loopholes when you're dealing with arbitrage, is that they can't really renounce the smart contract like you can do in DeFi. You know, because in DeFi, once they renounce the smart contract and or the treasury, that means it becomes immutable. That means that it cannot be changed, nor is anyone in control. And if they get an audit, you know, the auditors, you know, one of the things that they look for is to see if there's a backdoor or anything like that. So once we know that it's immutable, once we know that there's no backdoors, once we know that they have relinquished the treasury, then we say, hey, this is cool, we can go forward with it. However, in arbitrage, you can't really do that, because you know, they have to have access to the funds because they're doing trading and stuff like that. So your best line of defense when it comes to things like that is to get out the money that you put in. Now that brings us to FX Master Gold. I was really surprised when FX Master Gold went down, but luckily I pulled out a few hundred more with FX Master Gold than I actually put in. I have been talking with Absolute Markets, the broker, and they really didn't want to comment on the situation, but I still have almost $300 in equity there, so I'm going to try and figure out if there's any way I can utilize that. I don't know. But the core of everything that I'm coming to, ladies and gentlemen, is that, you know, we always have to remember is that nobody can do anything to us unless we give our consent, and ignorance is a form of consent. So with that, let me just give my little disclaimer here before we go any further. And of course, I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. Anything that I say, you know, or do, I'm simply enlightening you to what I am doing. And if you follow the universal principles and the methodology, and you use my official links, and you decide you want to try your hand at it using me as a template, then logic states that you should get similar or maybe even better results. However, I am not responsible for whatever it is that you do. So going forward, let us understand this. Let us understand this. Self-custody is really what it's about, okay? And this is why the oppressors, the suppressors and the repressors, you know, they just want you pressed and stressed, you know, and that's because they're psychopathic and demonic. I mean, no normal person would want to place someone in an uncomfortable situation. So we already know who they are. We have many different names for them, so we're not going to get all into that. But we know that we have an open adversary, and your adversary is my adversary, because they're not only dealing with us as individuals, they are dealing with us as a collective, because we are humanity, and humanity will win out. So let me just give you the methodology of what I'm talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Now with that, let's first go here. And I want you to know that yes, indeed, they are playing a chess game with us. And as I state out, the third principle of chess is the principle of force. You have time, space, force, and pawn structure. But the one I want to point out, the one that always gets to us, is the principle of force. Because the principle of force says no matter your upbringing, no matter your ethics, no matter your morals, no matter your likes and dislikes, you will do what I want you to do, or else. And since we don't like or else, then we simply do it because we are forced to do it. Our job is not to get into that situation. And that's what we are doing here, ladies and gentlemen, because it's all about, yes, you guessed it, control, okay? Because control is just another nice word for enslavement. And we simply aren't going to allow that to happen, because we have the power through universal principles. And one of the first principles is the law of oneness. I'm not going to go into all the principles, but in other systems, the first principle is the principle of mind, okay? Meaning you can conjure up by what you say and by what you do. You can actually order your steps and bring whatever you want into manifestation. All right. So I wanted to bring you to another one of my friends here. And this is a guy with a YouTube channel. His name is Kevin. I don't know his last name, but you might have seen him. But he's making these videos and he says, tell your family to prepare. And he does a lot of videos like this. And we thank you, Kevin, for your due diligence. And we thank you for the information that you bring to us. And, you shed some light on, giving us a more definitive way of looking at the situation. However, I just have one little gripe with my man Kevin. It's not really a gripe, because I love my brother, of course. But the thing is that, he tells us the problem, and he says things like, tell your family to prepare, survive the best way you can. Now that's fine and dandy, but the thing is that when it comes to things, you just can't give us the knowledge, okay? Aside from giving us the knowledge, you also have to give us the tools. Without the tools, we can't do anything. I can say, hey, there's a tsunami coming and you better be out of town before sundown, but I'm not going to tell you how to get out of town. No. You have to give us the tools. You just can't say, hey, things are bad, survive any way you can. No, because we don't know how. We don't know the landscape. And that's what we're doing here today, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to find the landscape. We are here to find how do we get out of, how do we protect ourselves, okay? How we protect ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is simply that we have to have self-custody. The blockchain affords us that, okay? Now, one of the things that I want to show you guys is when it comes to things that are going on is let's look at Polygon very quickly, because I want to make you guys aware that on March 27th, Polygon will be launching this thing that they call a ZK EVM. Now, ZK stands for Zero Knowledge and EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine, okay? In other words, you guys probably know it as what they call a layer 2 solution, okay? And for those of you who don't know that term, then I suggest that you get to know that term, because this is like blockchain 101, and you have to know things like this so that you can navigate the blockchain in an effective manner, okay? So anyway, in blockchain and or cryptocurrency. So this is something that is happening. So basically, we already know that Polygon is able to extract the resources out of Ethereum, okay? So we already know that it's a layer 2, but on March 27, it's going to become even more efficient, and it's got a lot of things going for it, which is going to make it super duper, basically. And that's the best way I'm gonna put it, because this article right here, you can actually read this for yourself, okay? And they even have a little video down here, unifying Polygon and all that. You guys can do all of this for yourself. So if you want to, all you got to do is type in to the search bar, Polygon, March 27th, it'll come right up, okay? I'm not even going to put that in the description for you guys because I can't do everything for you guys. Now, along with that, there's something else that you guys need to know about. And that one thing that you need to know about is something called STX or stacks, okay? Now, stacks, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to come up there. Stacks, let's do stacks crypto, all right? Now, Stacks Crypto, ladies and gentlemen, is, let's take a quick look here in CoinGecko. This is the actual coin Stacks. But what's, why am I pointing this out? What's the deal with Stacks? Basically, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the actual app. All right. Now, if we go to the actual app, if I go over here, it may even come up because I was in here earlier, right here. Now, if we go over to info, and you go down to the bottom, it says Stacks brings apps and smart contracts to Bitcoin. Apps built on Stacks inherit all of Bitcoin's powers. Matter of fact, what they should have said was, let me just pause this music for a second. It says Stack brings apps and smart contracts to Bitcoin. Apps built on Stacks inherit all of Bitcoin's powers. Yes, it does. But more importantly, it inherits the powers of Ethereum. I should have wrote this thing. It inherits the powers of Ethereum, because if any of you guys know and understand Bitcoin, you know that the thing that made Ethereum great is because it gave us the ability to do smart contracts, NFTs, and or DAOs, DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization, which is pretty much synonymous with a smart contract, okay? That's what Ethereum gave us, the one thing that Bitcoin was unable to do. So this Stacks coin actually gives Bitcoin superpowers. It gives Bitcoin superpowers because now Bitcoin is going to be able to do smart contracts. Bitcoin is going to be able to do NFTs. Bitcoin is going to be able to do basically everything that Ethereum can do. And as a matter of fact, if you couple that with that which already existed, which is Bitcoin's Lightning Network, now you're no longer stuck at 5 or 6 transactions per second, because if you take the Stacks coin and the Lightning Network and apply that to the Bitcoin as it was intended to do, now you've got a lightning fast TPS along with all of the attributes of Ethereum on the Bitcoin blockchain. That is astronomical. That is going to completely revamp what Bitcoin is all about, and I'm sure the Bitcoin maxis all over the earth are throwing a party. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to our next thing. And our next thing is to understand self-custody and my personal solution. My personal solution is, I watched Robert Kiyosaki today. I watched other people who talk about, utilities. And the one thing that both of these guys have on both sides of the fence is they never talk about the one thing in the middle. Because you guys know my thing as a martial arts instructor, I mostly teach about, the weapon and or the blade. And there's 3 things that have to happen when you're faced with someone that has a blade. And the first thing you got to do is you got to get off that line so that you're not at the point of 100% maximum force. The second thing you got to do is you got to secure that weapon. And the third thing you got to do is you have to disarm that weapon, okay? So the same thing here, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to finances, we're utilizing that same principle of that 3-pronged methodology. And that 3-pronged methodology is we have to obtain the wealth, but we just don't obtain the wealth. We learn to expand the wealth. And once we expand the wealth, we live off the dividends. And this is the one thing that people aren't talking about. And you see, I'm trying to show people that once we understand the road of compound interest means that we have switched polarities from depreciatory to appreciatory, meaning that we're making money while we sleep, meaning that we're making money 24 hours a day, meaning that we have self-generating, self-replicating machines that work for us all the time. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, enter Aurus. Okay, Aurus is a wallet that is in-house gold and silver and platinum holding of tokenized assets. Because see, here's the thing, when it comes to self-custody, it must be three things, ladies and gentlemen. It must be immutable, it must be unconfiscatable, and it must be verifiable. As long as you got those three things going for you, nobody can take anything away from you. That's what I need you to understand, okay? Immutable, unconfiscatable, and verifiable. That verifiable is also a concept that comes from DeFi as well, because we don't trust in DeFi. There's no need to trust. We verify. You know why? Because if there's no proof, there's no truth. I'm going to say that again. If there's no proof, there's no truth. Do not regulate yourself to magical thinking. This is the law of cause and effect, and this is the methodology that's going to allow us not only to have wealth, but to expand our wealth and to live any lifestyle we want off of the dividends. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the gold here. Now, gold is approximately $58.81 a gram. Now, what you're able to do with Aurus is when you go here to the wallet, all right, and you go down here to Aurus, you have your stuff here. You can send, you can deposit, you can buy, or you can earn. When you go to earn, ladies and gentlemen, you can do staking in here. So you have tokenized gold, silver, and platinum that is actually appreciating or expanding your value. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I am talking about expanding your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what's the great thing of, as a matter of fact, this gold, platinum, there are several platforms that I'm going to introduce you today. But the great thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wanted to redeem your gold for actual physical gold, you can. As a matter of fact, they even tell you it's your right to do so. And gold is an asset. Gold, silver, diamonds, natural gas, aluminum, all of these utilities, because the world is being tokenized. Real estate is being tokenized. And that's where you want to be. You want these tokenized utilities that you can utilize, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, if you go to staking, you can go here and you can actually stake your Aurus coins. And when you do, they will give you the gold coins, the TXAU, and the silver coins. That's what you will earn by staking your Aurus coins, okay? You have to have 100 coins in order to stake. I don't quite have that yet, but I'll have that in a couple of days. And when I do, I'll come back and I'll show you guys how the process actually works. So then once you obtain your T-Gold tokens and your T-Silver, you can then provide liquidity on Uniswap utilizing the Polygon blockchain. What did I just tell you? Polygon is a layer 2 solution, so you won't get, how should I say, beat down by Ethereum gas fees. So Polygon allows us to extract the liquidity out of Ethereum by utilizing a Polygon layer 2 solution, okay? So you take this TXAU, you couple it with USDC, which is a stable coin, and you provide liquidity on Uniswap, and as you can see here, and then you go here, and this is called a concentrated LP, because once you take this and you move this, what happens is you move this one back and forth, and yes, and you go over here, and then every time somebody uses your liquidity, you get paid for this, ladies and gentlemen. So you're stacking, you're staking your Aurus X, and then whatever you get in the gold and silver, you take it over here and then you provide liquidity on Uniswap, and then you're building your gold and silver here. So now you just don't have gold and silver, you have gold and silver that is expanding. That's right, you heard it here first. Leave me a comment down in the below, and I will make more videos like this if you guys like. Now, I'm going to introduce you to one other thing, ladies and gentlemen, and that one other thing is called KINESIS. Thanks to my man over at Lift Capital TED Talks, you know, him and Spider-Man, you know, Mr. Man, they've been hooking me up with a lot of really great information. But if you go over here to KINESIS, I'm going to do an entire video on KINESIS, ladies and gentlemen. KINESIS, over here you see KAU is what they call their token for gold, and KAG is what they call silver. But you also got Bitcoin, you got ETH, you got all of these other coins, XRP, Stellar Lumens, XDC. You got all of this other stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. But over here in KINESIS, what I did is I took some XDC and I actually came over here and I swapped it out for some gold, ladies and gentlemen. The great thing about KINESIS is not only do you earn gold just by holding over here gold and silver, but you get cash, gold back, not cash back, because cash is fake, okay? We're moving away from fiat, okay? So we want these tokenized assets, right? Okay, yes we do. Now over here you earn yield just for holding. It's kind of like in the same concept of rebasing or reflection, but you also get gold back when you spend, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that's what's going on here. What, you know, when we have this. All right, now let's go to something else, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to another hedge of protection for you guys that you can take refuge in, that is unconfiscatable and immutable and verifiable, that nobody can take away from you, and that is called ISO 222 compliant coins. All right. Now this is the list, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm not going to squabble here, but Hedera Hashgraph is not at this point, at the making of this video, a 2022. I've seen many lists and they keep saying that it is, and it is not. Algorand is not. Okay, they keep saying it is, but it's not. But I want you to pay attention to three in particular. And the three is XRP, XDC, and XLM. Now, why do we want to pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you why. Because if you have XRP, you are going to have the digital global currency that the banks will be using. If you have XLM or Stellar, you will have the retail everyday money that all the merchants that you buy your stuff from, your shirts, your clothes, your food, that they are using. And if you have XDC, now you are using globally on the global digital ledger all of the money that trade finance is using. Okay, that's shipping and merchandising, that's the stock market, that's all of that, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to have the 3 X's, okay, if you want to safeguard yourself and neutralize your dependency on CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, because when central bank digital currencies come, it will be nothing nice. Just ask the people in Nigeria. They are now forcing CBDC upon them, and it is bad, ladies and gentlemen. It is very bad. They told them to turn their old notes in for the new notes, but they don't even have enough for the new notes in order to supply everybody. But even if they did, no one understands what CBDC is. And what CBDC is as our friend, you know, Casey, you know, tells us, it's the most heinous crime against humanity. Because what happens is, when you have CBDC, your life, your liberty, and your property is in jeopardy, ladies and gentlemen. So no one understands. Get a knowledge of CBDCs and come and visit me on this channel, and we will start to perform more and more on how we can neutralize and claim exempt status from the CBDC. Okay, so that we are not at all, or at least for the most part, not utilizing or dependent upon CBDC. This is why we need XRP. This is why we need Stellar Lumens, XLM, and this is why we need XDC and or Zenfin, so that we can cover the banking, the retail, and also the trade finance of the world. Thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Come on back to the channel so that as an individual, you can find independence, so that as a collective, we can come together and do what we have to do and keep these they people off of our backs. Thank you once again. Glad for you guys being here. And once again, know and understand that nobody can do anything to you unless you give your consent, and ignorance is a form of consent, okay? Which is why we are here to educate ourselves. Thank you very much. One love, peace and blessings, and I will see you soon.